Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. You know, lately it's been kind of difficult to do some of these reviews on B&B because they don't really give you much to go on. Like, after I finished watching the episode, I was just like, how did I just watch? Like, that's serious. Like, what did I just watch? Deacon is getting he's looking for a wine consultant, and some guy who I know he's famous. I have no idea who he is. Name is Boosie. Comes in there, and after Deacon Smith is shouting, "Show me the money!" He just shows up and he's like, "Oh, I'm the answer to all your prayers. I'm a wine consultant." He comes in with his grandson and he's all like, "Oh, I'm gonna, really help you out and this, that, and the third." And I'm like, is there a reason why I shouldn't sit there? Because he's talking about, oh, he's gonna, he wants to prove his worth by, being a really good consultant or whatever. I was like, it just sounds like, I mean, here's the thing. You can sit there and take this, and it just sounds like this guy just came in and decided, eh, I want to sit there and sample some wine. And I just want to drink some wine for free. And then, like, I don't know who you are. He's all like, oh, the stars know me, this, that, and the third. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're in LA, so pretty much anyone can say it at this point. I know it's supposed to be like some sort of little cheeky comedy thing, but I'm just like, I don't know who you are. um, Eric was there for a little bit. You have the Foresters men just practically, being happy that they're all Forester men or something like that. I don't know. It's always a great time to sit there and see Eric. It's just something I just love about seeing Eric. But he goes in there and he goes to a meeting with that guy who I can't remember who his name is that always does that cringeworthy comedy because why not? Um, and then Riz just gives RJ a bunch of, I don't want to sit there and say meaningless compliments, but these are only compliments that the character knows. Like he talks about, oh, you have this gift, and you can sit there and see things and make it, this, that, and the third, and you're so gifted. It was like it just kind of reminded me of the blanket compliments that Victoria gives Nate whenever she talks about he's a great businessman and he just has an eye for this and an eye for that, and I'm like, we haven't seen any of that stuff. It's the same way I'm feeling about these pointless, somewhat BS compliments that he keeps giving RJ. And he gives him a penny. He's like, "You're gonna be the best designer in Forrester Creation." I was like, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna cause nothing. There's gonna cause no drama between RJ and Thomas. I guess my man just can't have anything at this point, right? I mean, here's the thing. My dude was happy doing his own thing. Now, it will be different. Just make no mistake. It'd be different if he actually wanted that job. If he was like, you know what, I want the job, I'm gonna do it. Then I could be like, well, you know what, listen, that's competition. It's competition. It is what it is. I don't really understand why Hope kept asking Thomas a bunch of questions about how she felt about RJ being back. Like, oh, how do you feel about him? You haven't really spent a lot of time with him. Do you feel like it's competition? I'm just like, where is this coming from? Where is this? I'm like, did I miss something? Maybe I must have missed something because I haven't been watching the show that long. So maybe I missed something. But first is Hope. First, it's Hope. Before that, it was Taylor. What are your feelings about RJ? Like, what are your feelings? I want to know what your feelings is. Like, he's like, he's back. He's my half brother. It's great for the family. If he wants to come back and work, that's fine. It's like, what do you expect him to sit there and say? Do you want him to sit there and say, well, I'm so threatened by the fact that his talent and him coming back and just caused some real trouble for me. I'm jealous. I feel like that's what those two women want him to say at this point because the nonchalant, laid back attitude of, yeah, that's fun. He's back, it's great. We get to sit there and reconnect and stuff. It's been super busy. Like, like those ants are just not flying with them. They're really not. They're just not. Oh, and then it was this pointless conversation with Deacon and some guy that's a pizza maker or whatever. The only thing that actually made me want to do is go out and get a pizza. That was it. That's the only thing that I got from that whole thing. That's my takeaway from that is I want pizza. Fortunately, there's not really a lot of good spots where I'm at. So, there's a really good spot. Popeyes. um, but yeah, you got that going on. And what are we like 5 minutes in? I think I'm pretty much done. I think I'm pretty much done. This show is so short that I'm amazed. Well, I mean, besides being amazed myself, being able to try to draw this out as long as possible with, but not even so much trying to draw it out, but just trying to find stuff to talk about with the show. But more and more importantly, there's other people that do reviews on B&B. Life with Jessica, I think that's her name. Lanikia, she does reviews on B&B. She does that daily, and I'm just like, where do y'all get your answer? Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's times where there's an episode that's like really good and something really to talk about. Well, stuff like this just makes me think like, partly if I should just do this once a week. Because you get stuff here and there. I couldn't really do anything yesterday because of, well, Hell Day. But, you look at a scene, and I'll talk about this a little bit. The scene yesterday with Jack and, because, there gotta be another Jack in this soap opera universe. Um, the scene with Jack and Sheila, and Jack being like, he seems like he's all just interested in the fact that Sheila, summoned him. But I'm like, bro, you came down there. You didn't have to come down there. You're in LA. There was 1,000 different things you could have done. You could have sat there and went to a strip club at 3 in the afternoon. Instead, you decide to come down to the stinky, sweaty jail to see Sheila so you can be all standoffish. I know there's a certain level of disbelief you need to have in these soap operas, but Jesus Christ, there's just times where you're just like, I'm baffled. I'm baffled by some of the decisions that they do. And granted, I know that they have to do it for soap opera purposes, but I think that's another reason why sometimes I'll sit there and watch these soap operas, and some of the things I'm just like, I'm befuddled. But then I'll watch other shows and just like, okay, well, this makes a little more sense. And I get it. Soap operas do tend to lean on more fantasy, more whimsical, and a certain level of disbelief you need to have. That's the thing about these soap operas. You need to have a certain level of disbelief. You need to be able to lean into the I forgot the one I just said. You need to be able to you have to understand it's a fantasy, and you have to sit there and on some level kind of give into the whimsicalness of it all. Otherwise, you are just so. All of a sudden, you gotta sit there and be prepared for the fact that they'll drag out a story like there's no tomorrow. All those things, you need to sit there and be fully prepared to deal with if you're going to be watching a soap opera. That kind of goes with, well, pretty much all of them. Some of them do better than others, like Days of Our Lives. But I feel like that's about it. As always feel like I missed something new. I feel like I missed something. And what I always sit there and say is come to the live stream tonight. We're gonna be sitting there talking about. Okay, we're gonna be sitting there talking about them all. We're gonna talk about all the soap operas: B&B, GH, Days, YNR, and we're gonna be sitting there talking about the writer strike. And yeah, I have things to say. I also have a video that I'm gonna be putting out afterwards, which is a very somewhat controversial take on the whole thing. So that's going to be interesting. But come to the live stream tonight so you can sit there and know my thoughts on everything. Just writer strike and all of it. Because I'm going to be going in. And I'm going to be saying some nice things, and I'm going to be saying some very controversial things. So, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe. And, yeah, I will see you in the next video. And hopefully live stream. Laters.